Why are Russian mercenaries operating in Africa? The Sahel region and North Africa has been a hotbed for decades. Dozens of terrorist groups, allied both to Al-Qaeda and Daesh, have launched insurgencies against several governments in the region. Adding to that is a crisis of instability, where military coups happen almost every year.
Burkina Faso's military has taken power in a coup just weeks before an election, but it's not the first African country to experience a military takeover.
The coup that was no surprise. Mali is under military rule.
Not in his usual presidential attire. On this mobile phone video, the 83-year-old president appears disheveled. He's being detained by the country's special forces. Men meant to protect him now hold him in custody.
Mali is the latest country that finds itself at a turning point, hit by a coup just last year. An 8-year-long insurgency is also raging in the north. Plagued by multiple security threats, the junta, who took power in 2020, is reportedly hiring 1,000 mercenaries from the Wagner Group, a private Russian security firm.
Long live Russia and bye-bye France. These men chanted at a press conference to show support for Mali's ruling junta after reports that it was close to a deal with Russian private security group Wagner.
A bombshell revelation, because we're talking now about 1,000 contractors from Wagner, this mercenary wing of Moscow, let's say, arriving in Mali to train, to arm, to secure the presidency.
But why the Wagner Group, and who are they? On paper, they're a conventional business company offering security services, but in reality, they fight on the ground in actual conflicts, and demand for Russian mercenaries has seen a sharp rise in recent years, following a string of reported successes.
What's the main goal of any private military company? To defend the interests of a government if it can't use the regular army. The goal is financial revenue and the possibility of taking control of a large market for oil resources for our country.
Private Russian security forces began emerging in eastern Ukraine in 2014, where they fought alongside pro-Russian separatists, and they reportedly played a part in helping Moscow annex Crimea. Mercenary groups like Wagner have also been active in the decade-long Syrian conflict, helping reinforce Bashar al-Assad's control over the country. And now they've branched out and are believed to be operating in 10 countries, mainly in Africa. The Wagner Group has fought in Libya, where they supported warlord Khalifa Haftar against Libya's then UN-backed government. But analysts say these mercenaries aren't just hired guns in it for the money. Many are working in coordination with the Kremlin to help Russia establish a regional presence and to achieve other strategic objectives. Take the Central African Republic, where a civil war has been ongoing for more than 8 years. In 2018, Russian cargo planes began delivering thousands of small arms, hundreds of rocket launchers, and dozens of anti-aircraft guns. Soon after, the first Russian advisors landed on Central African soil, and at least 2 companies got their first mining contracts: Labaya Invest and its subsidiary, Sewer Security Services. Both are reportedly tied to the Wagner Group.
Officially, Moscow has deployed Russian instructors in the country since 2018 to train the army. But behind these instructors, it is the private mercenary company that operates according to a United Nations expert report.
So let's get back to Mali. News of Russian mercenaries being hired comes as France is trying to scale down its own 5,000 troops in the country as part of a greater drawdown in the Sahel region. Mali's former colonial power has been fighting insurgents in the country for years.
So this is largely what the war in the Sahel looks like. The French are on a mission right now, and they've partnered up with the Malian army. They say this entire area is crawling with Al-Qaeda-affiliated militants, but it just looks like a bunch of desert.
French officials warned the Malian government that accepting Russian mercenaries would lead to its international isolation. But France isn't an innocent bystander either. Many in Mali say their former colonial ruler has no intention of ending the insurgency and that it's a cover for an indefinite occupation. And France's other military interventions across its former African colonies have raised questions as well.
If Wagner went to liberate Syria, if Wagner went to liberate the Central African Republic, then we welcome Wagner to Bamako to liberate Mali. To the asymmetric war, we propose an asymmetric solution, which is Wagner. This is the truth, and today it is the end of France-Africa.
So is there a rivalry brewing where Russia is hoping to fill a power vacuum left by Western powers? What's at stake?
We already know that in Mali, Operation Barkhane is now downgrading and that 5,000 troops might be leaving, and nature loves a vacuum. I think that vacuum really is an opportunity for the Kremlin to be able to quite quickly and in a very, very low-cost method be able to take territory that France is leaving behind.
So it seems the Wagner Group and other mercenaries have become an instrument of Russian state power, but without the intrusive footprint the Russian military usually brings. Operating in the shadows, the Wagner Group has become a deadly but effective proxy in furthering Russian interests without setting off too many alarms in the West.